With us now, Ambassador John Bolton, former national security advisor in the first Trump administration, former U.S. ambassador to NATO. Ambassador, always good to see you. I know it would pain you to praise President Trump. You have separate feelings for him on a number of things. That said, regime change in Venezuela is something you've pushed for a long time. You've laid out the evils of Nicolas Maduro for a long time. The world is unquestionably a better place with him behind bars rather than running Venezuela, right?
Look, I'm delighted that we've grabbed Maduro. I wish we had done it back in 2019 when the Venezuelan opposition made a move. Unfortunately, didn't pan out. But let's be clear, there's a big difference between getting Maduro and removing the regime. Right now, facts are scarce, that's for sure, but the regime is still in power. And Trump, inexplicably today at his news conference, took a shot at the Nobel Peace Prize winning leader of Venezuela's opposition, Mrs. Machado, said she didn't have the trust of the Venezuelan people. So I think there's a lot of lack of clarity, to say the least, in Trump's thinking on this. And it would be a hollow victory indeed if we snatched Maduro but left his regime in place. Remember, it's not really Maduro's regime. It's Hugo Chavez's regime. It's been in power for 30 years, and they have some powerful friends in Russia, China, Cuba, and Iran.
Well, the flip side of that is President Trump says we're running Venezuela, and I think the not really implicit but explicit threat was either those who are in Venezuela right now will do what we tell them to do, or you're next. That has some teeth to it now. Would you say just carpet bomb Venezuela and take out all of the leadership? I'm trying to figure out how you keep the country together at the same time.
Well, if Trump wants to go in and try and run the country, I don't necessarily have any problem with that. I just want to know that he's got a plan to do it. I think we heard a lot of braggadocio today. But whether anybody, including the people who are supposedly going to run the country, Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, have the slightest idea of how to do it. I think there's a long way to go here between the objective, which is legitimate and worthwhile, which is removing the regime from power in Venezuela and allowing the people of that country to run their own affairs again, and where we are right now.
Okay, I'm going to mark you down as skeptical but hopefully optimistic. As it relates to where we are so far. You've said that you think the goal is worthwhile, at least as I read between the lines, and you don't have to read between a lot of lines because normally Donald Trump will tell you what he's thinking. It is go after Maduro on the narco-terrorism charges, and as an added bonus, you get the oil. The added virtue of the oil is that it drives down the price worldwide of oil, and that hurts Vladimir Putin. I can't help but think that both Putin and Xi Jinping and the Ayatollah are all sitting around tonight thinking to themselves, I better listen a little bit more carefully to what Donald Trump says.
Yeah, look, the use of American force successfully, as in this case, brilliantly successfully, should get people's attention. But let's consider the oil question. This is one reason China is so involved in Venezuela right now. They're not going to walk away from it, not easily anyway. And if Trump thinks that simply by saying we're going to run the country and American oil companies will invest in Venezuela and money's going to start to flow tomorrow, he's delusional. The infrastructure of the Venezuelan oil industry is incredibly dilapidated. Under Chavez and Maduro, they've run it into the ground. It would take billions of dollars of capital investment to recreate the capacity to drill and export that oil. That takes time for companies to decide. It takes time for the investment to be made. And any officers of American or any other oil company, they're just waiting to jump into Venezuela, where it's so politically stable, where the future is so clear and certain, would be liable to their shareholders and boards of directors for complete malfeasance if they simply invested without further consideration. There's a lot ahead here. I think this is worthwhile. I thought it was worthwhile in 2019, but if anybody thinks this is going to happen overnight, think again.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.